2024. Can you imagine that? It's the 12th day of the month of June in the year 2024. Today we're going to be looking at the journey of fatherhood. Yes, you have heard it, the journey of fatherhood. So man from Moran Point to Negril, this is your time. And boys to men, we want to challenge, encourage, and empower our men, our boys to become all they were created to become. So welcome. The mailbox is brought to you today by Solid PVC Pipes, manufactured in Jamaica by Fosrich Company Limited. The nature of impending fatherhood is that you are doing something that you are unqualified to do, and then you become qualified while doing it. These words are from the writer John Green, and it seemed to be more accurate than ever. The journey of being a father is a marathon, not a sprint. Those of you who are fathers, biological, adopted fathers, and those who are foster care fathers, or just who are fathers who have taken on the nurturing of children, you can attest to that. Along with the new joys of being a father comes the great responsibility of fatherhood. Childcare is an entirely new concept for a man. You get to explore this new skill in the company and guidance of the people you love. Your instructors include your wife, parents, and of course your little ones. Remember, little humans just need little things. Try to learn them with modesty. Fathers are equally responsible for every aspect of a child's life. The father involving himself in his child's life would certainly strengthen their method of analyzing any trouble they could possibly find themselves being involved in the future, and enhance and revive their self-confidence and sense of responsibility. Embracing fatherhood becomes a paradigm shift from being a husband to a father. Your responsibility has now transformed from the ones of the head of the family to those of a father. Hence, it is important to spend time with your child and understand him or her in every way you can. This would not only lead to new discoveries, but also make you realize the beauty of this journey. Indeed, it is a journey. This is the program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by men, and it's aired every Wednesday, unless it's a holiday, at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101, the family station. It is the mailbox. By the way, I'm Kevin Bailey, and my co-host, Courtney Morrison, regrettably is unable to be here because he has some matters, family matters he has to deal with. And so he should be back next week as well. And so we want all our listeners, we want to thank you for making Love 101 your station of choice. You have choices, and here you are with us year in, year out. This is your favorite station, your station of choice. We're talking about the topic, the journey of fatherhood. And I wonder how many of our fathers this afternoon would like to link with us as well. We're going to be having conversations and looking at the journey of fatherhood, maybe sharing your own experiences, the challenges, the joys. What does it really mean? And of course, we want to salute fathers everywhere in Jamaica and overseas as well, because persons are listening from all over. Fatherhood is a remarkable journey filled with love, with responsibility, and growth. You get to grow as a father, not just the children, but you get to grow because you can learn so much from your children if you are a good listener, and if you're humble enough, your world will be turned upside down as well. It's not just about being a biological parent. It's about being there for your children, guiding them, supporting them, and helping them become their best selves. A father will play multiple roles: a role model, a teacher, a friend, a mentor, a lover, so many roles fathers have to play. Our guest this evening is Dr. Jermaine D. Gordon, creative architect. We have had Dr. Jermaine, and he is going to be back with us this afternoon. And I would love you to listen to some interesting facts about Dr. Jermaine D. Gordon. Dr. Jermaine Gordon, the unstoppable force, blazing a trail of inspiration and transformation. Born as the eighth of nine children to Ira and Beatrice Gordon, he defies convention with a fervent belief that one's essence and evolution far outweigh mere possessions. A man on a mission, Dr. Gordon aspires to transcend boundaries, aiming to become a multi-millionaire, a globally acclaimed speaker, a visionary, entrepreneur, a prolific writer, author, singer, and composer. Having abandoned a secure career as an accountant at the Port of Kingston in 2017, Dr. Gordon has since harnessed his time, talent, and resources to catalyze change among the youth of Jamaica. A thought leader and multi-award winning singer, songwriter, he has crafted chart-topping anthems like You Are God, Holy and Righteous, and I think all of you are familiar with this song. And Shackles Are Broken, I Am Delivered. His magnetic charisma and powerful messages have become a guiding light for those seeking hope and healing. I want all the ladies to call all the men and the boys and grandpas and uncles and husbands and just let them listen in on this conversation. At the helm of the Love Has Hands Foundation, Dr. Gord is not just an executive director, he is a beacon of hope, working tirelessly to eradicate trauma and violence impacting children and communities. Much needed attention for our children and our communities. Simultaneously, as the dynamic CEO of Color Your Thoughts Media, a storytelling agency, he weaves tales of inspiration into the fabric of society. Through books and music and motion graphics and art, he champions the message of resilience, instilling a collective belief that dreams are not only achievable, but also worth pursuing. And this is so significant. Do you have a dream this afternoon? Do you have a dream? Do you allow your children to dream, fathers? I love what Walt Disney says. He says, laughter is timeless, imagination has no age, and dreams are forever. And I think this is so relevant as you think of your role as a father and giving roots and wings to your children, to remember that laughter is timeless. And no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, you should find time for humor. Laughter is good medicine. And Walt Disney said, laughter is timeless. Imagination has no age. It means that whatever your age is, whatever, how old you are, how young you are, you can imagine great things. You can imagine a better life for your children, better life for yourself. And dreams are forever. Ladies and gentlemen, and specifically our fathers, brace yourselves for the man who birthed the famous rallying cry, let's make it happen, Dr. Jermaine Gordon, where passion meets purpose and dreams become a reality. Welcome, Dr. Jermaine Gordon. Brother Jermaine.
Hey, Pastor Kevin, it's so good to see you Monday.
Monday, I tell you, no, it's wonderful connecting with you and great. Thank you so much for deciding to be with us on this afternoon show. It's really our honor and privilege. And we want really to encourage, challenge, empower our men. And just reading your bio, so many areas of inspiration and transformation. So we're in for a great time. Welcome. How you doing this afternoon?
Well, when I listen to you talk, I know that men are no longer an endangered species. I'm telling you.
No, no, Monday. We are very present. We are very present. And I want our listeners, please feel free. You can give us a call. Man and man, remember, we want to hear from you. We are live on Facebook, YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Remember, you can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. Also, we're on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica. And ladies, wanna say, we love you. We really appreciate you. However, we're gonna ask you to encourage the man them, the fathers, the uncles, the brothers, and the grandpas, and just encourage the fathers who are doing a great job. And we want you to participate in the program by leaving us a message via our WhatsApp, our Facebook, our YouTube. Ladies, remember, no calls or voice notes allowed. Encourage the man them to do that. Dr. Gordon, you know by now we have a time where we do a shout out, and we just say man there. So after 2, I'm gonna ask you to join me and just shout out, say man there. 1, 2, man
Monday.
there. Yes. men, we are here. We are here, definitely. So, guess what? We are going to just take our first break, and then we're going to be right back. This is the mailbox. Dr. Jermaine Gordon in the place, Kevin Bailey, and we're going to be right back after these messages.
I am a man, boss. We're gonna need some solid PVC pipes and conduits.
Then all PVC pipe not solid.
No man, solid brand. They make it right here in Jamaica. Them cheaper and it's good quality pipes.
Well, that is some solid advice. All right, how much we need?
Solid PVC pipes and conduits manufactured in Jamaica and available at all hardware stores across the island. Buy Jamaican, employ Jamaicans, and build Jamaica. Ask for solid PVC pipes and conduits and save. Call 876-937-5099 to place your orders today. Manufactured by Fosrich.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Lark, long-acting reversible contraceptives.
I made my choice 6 years ago. I have an IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least.
My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 968-1632 to find out more about the Lark.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Here's why you can't afford to miss the Morning Watch.
I love listening to the Morning Watch because topics are discussed and issues are highlighted that are of major importance, which in turn edify me.
The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
I like listening to the Morning Watch. I find it very informative. I find it very interesting. The topics that are covered are very, very wide.
The Morning Watch, thought-provoking, insightful, current. Listen for the probing questions with attorney at law Stokely Marshall and the in-depth discussion with Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint. The Morning Watch, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. The Morning Watch is on the family station Love 101.
Ready to experience 6 times more freshness in your clothes? Try Downy Scent Beads. Its fragrance is so amazing, you have to sniff it to believe it. Try Downy Scent Beads today. 6 times more freshness versus using detergent alone.
The report is out.
What report?
The Constitutional Reform Committee's report of recommendations.
Recommendations on what?
On how we move from a monarchy to a republic, of course.
So what's in it?
The creation of the office of president and changes to our parliament. Yes, man. It also includes a new qualification for membership in parliament. I know you want to see that one.
Read the full report at roadtorepublic.mlca.gov.jn.
We are on the road to republic.
Welcome back to the mailbox here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on your favorite station, Love 101 FM. And this afternoon, we're very honored and privileged to have Dr. Jermaine Gardner with us. And this is Kevin Bailey. Courtney Morrison unable to make it because he has to deal with some family matters. Dr. Gordon, I would love to ask you at the outset, are we doing enough as a society to encourage our fathers? Are we doing enough to encourage our good fathers? What's your perspective on this?
No, no, no. And if I could sing a no song, I would sing it this evening. No, no, no. We're not doing enough to help our fathers. In fact, a few days from now, we're going to call it Father's Day. And in some congregations, some people are going to use their platform to bash the man. It's a time where we're supposed to celebrate and recognize fathers, but instead it has become a time to bash the men and call them all kinds of names. So absolutely not. We're not doing enough to help our men. In fact, I run a what do you call a charity. And when I look at the grants that are available to help missions and projects that are female oriented or women or girls, it is remarkable, Pastor Kevin, the level of grants available locally, internationally to support women and girls. And I don't see any for men. I got to be honest.
Yes,
I don't see any for men.
Wow. Why do you think it is so? You know, just your own evaluation. Is this historic? Is it just culture? And I know, and I'm really we're trying to get your own take on it, you know, if you could. Why is it that you think we are putting all of these resources, all of this back in for women, and we're grateful for that, but at the same time neglecting to pay attention and support men in our endeavors for us to grow when we're important to contribute to society? Well, what's happening here, Dr. Gordon?
For most of what we are experiencing, I realize that two key things are important. One, the words we have told ourselves over the years, and the stories we have been told. And so I grew up in an era where quite a bit of story was told about men that created the need to, yes, of course, we want to uplift women, but the stories have been told in such a way that there's an urgent call to establish women and build women up, but without an equal urgent call to establish men and build up men. And there was a time when movies, shows would just zoom in on men who of less standard, the kind of behavior they indulge in. You know, we don't support that. But then that became the central focus for some TV stations, some network, you know. And so I believe the stories that we have heard, the stories we have seen, have somewhat created this.
Wow.
Pastor Kevin, I'm so happy I discovered that, because somebody says follow the money. Follow the money. Because when a man dies, you don't hear much. But if a woman dies, you hear a whole lot, because there's so much available in terms of resources and finance to help with violence against women. And so the cry is louder. You know, when we talk about stop the violence against women, the cry is louder. There's so much more money available for people who want to do that.
Wow. No, it leads me to another question, you know, and probably I'm drawing you out, but is it that the church has followed in this line where it's easier for church to support women activities, growth development of women, allowing women to feel comfortable in the houses of the Lord, but not specifically geared to men, and ensuring that men get what they really need for them to feel powerful, for them to feel successful, whether financially and otherwise? What's your take on that?
What I usually like to help people to understand is that when there's a main issue in a society, you know, whatever the challenge is, whether it's greed or scamming, the church is not without blame. Usually I find that the church is not without blame. I look at it in Jesus' time, and I'm looking at it now. The church is not without blame in terms of its structure, its program. and it's decoration. Somebody used to say even the very decorations on the tablecloth used to encourage more female than male. And so the church has had to make that shift. Some of the churches have made that shift, but we have quite a bit of way to go.
Oh, thank you. Listeners, we're having conversation with Dr. Jermaine D. Gordon, creative architect. The journey of fatherhood is about communication. At every stage of interaction with your child, you will comprehend that communication is the key to understanding what your child wants and what he or she needs. Educate them about everything that they are unable to anticipate as an individual and try to make them understand how to act upon certain situations. Remember, your child will not follow your advice, but your example. Thank you again, Dr. Gordon, for coming on again as you were with us on May 29, 2024 for Man Journal. Can you remind our listeners a little bit about the work of journaling as a male, just, to connect those who listened and now as we move into fatherhood?
The word for journaling, you said?
The work of journaling.
The work of journaling.
Yes.
I like what you said a while ago in terms of the child watching more than listening. Yeah. In our parenting session, we like to say more is caught than taught. And that just sort of reinforced what you said a while ago. Journaling. I have journaled my children's conversations.
Wow.
I can tell you what we talked about a year ago on this day or 4 years ago on this day. And so when we journal, we actually tap into our genius as men. There's a lot we don't understand. There's a lot we don't see and grasp in everyday life. In fact, life is moving so fast.
Yes.
It's almost impossible for you to get a good grip at it. You wish you could sit at any moment and say, wow, yeah, I have a good grip on what is happening. No, by the time you get a grip on it, it's gone. And so journaling helps us to connect the dots of our lives by looking back, looking over some of our notes as men. Journaling helps with efficiency, productivity. Journaling helps with mental health. Journaling helps with stress and depression, grieving. And so these are some of the benefits. And these are the reasons I encourage journaling among men, among boys. Yes. I remember my eldest son started journaling at age 9.
Wow. How many children and what are the ages now, Dr. Gordon?
Now you got to give away my secret. I'm counting still. I'm still counting.
Wow.
I'm currently now, if you were to consider all my children that are on the mic here right now, we're talking about 6. Yeah.
Wow.
6.
Wow. That's a lot of responsibility right there. But tell us a little bit about you growing up, early childhood days for you. Just hearing the accomplishments and some of the things that you are doing, persons might think, oh gosh, gold spoon in your mouth. You really had it great and no challenges, etc. But share a little bit about your early days.
They're right. I had a great start of not having enough running water, not having electricity, not having clean clothes and food. I had enough of that growing up. That was my gold spoon. My gold spoon, let me just explain what my gold spoon was. Mango trees that you have to snack on. When we talk about snack today, we don't know what that is in my time. You want to snack, you go out and pick a mango or a sweet sop or some plum.
Yes.
That was snacking for us. I was just reflecting on the genius of my parents recently, on how they grew everything that we eat and they raised the animals that we eat. That was how we grew up back then. My father, a farmer, my mother, a dressmaker, and we learn to be creative.
Yes.
Like they say, scarcity is the mother of innovation. I have this skill now as a man, as a husband, that I can go into the kitchen, Kevin, and you can test me any day.
Yes.
I go into the kitchen and make a meal of whatever is there.
Wow. No, this is the creative architect at work, even in the kitchen, right?
That's it.
No, that's amazing. Did you know that you were going to be where you are now? As a youngster, did you imagine you being where you are right now, Sir Gordon?
I knew I wanted to fly. As a child, I knew I wanted to fly. I would have these dreams where I open my hands and I begin to fly. Whenever I was coming under heavy problems, trouble, attacks, I would just lift my hands and begin to fly. And I knew I wanted to be in aeronautics. I knew I wanted to be a pilot. In terms of the greatness, I'm not so sure. I believe it was when I was at Kingston College.
Yes.
I had seen enough in the world, and this was what I said to myself. I said, when I grow up, if I become a garbage collector or someone who sweep the streets,
yes,
I want to be the best street sweeper there is ever. I imagine myself, people coming into the island and just to travel on the street that I would sweep. That's what I saw. Wow. And so I don't know if that is greatness or that is great servanthood.
But no, certainly you had this amazing way to see the future and to be creating the stuff that you have created. I think it's amazing. Can you share with us your experience of fatherhood? Just a touch of it before we take our next break, as it were. But what would you say your experience of being father, the significance of it, what does it entail? Those who are listening and wanting to know, what is this thing called fatherhood? Is it just something tough and woody and harsh, or what it entails? Share with us a little about that.
Every man who is listening and every woman who might be listening, I want you to understand this, that the most important job on the planet Earth is this. God never called himself president. God never called himself prime minister, director, executive. God called himself father. And when I came into that understanding, I said, my gosh, he never called himself CEO. He never called himself executive director. He called himself father. It's the most important job on the earth. And when I came into contact with that knowledge, it changed my life. I remember recently I was standing at an ATM and I turned around randomly to a gent. I'm one of those strange guys who talk to strangers. I just talked to this guy who was behind me and I said to him, you know, a father is the most important job in the world, and God called us to be fathers. And the guy said to me, man, hey, where you come from? I said, what happened? He said, the girl just texted me and tell me that she's pregnant. And I got scared. And here you are now telling me that I have the most important job on the earth.
Dr. Gordon, put a pause on that. We're going to come right back. We take our second break. We go to the studio. We're having a conversation with Dr. Jermaine Gordon. We're going to be right back after this.
I am mama. Wine na your tongue. You know wine na your tongue. Drive smart, no ramp. Wine na your tongue. If a 87 you fi use, put the 87 in your tongue. Fi know which fuel you use. Vehicle manual fine it. No car in a Jamaica make fi use 87. And a petrol refine. So use the octane for the car where you're driving. And let me tell you some more. If a 87 your vehicle use, you are rev up the savings for sure. Know your tank fuel right. Your pocket have a smile. Rev up the savings. Savings on every mile. Brought to you by Petrojam. Serving Jamaica's energy needs.
Hot button issues and insights. The latest developments in health. Your questions answered. 30 minutes of talk with Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton and members of the Health and Wellness team, discussing solutions to your burning questions, hearing your views and concerns. Every Friday at 11 a.m. on Love 101. You've got questions? Then call in for answers. That's On the Pulse with Public Health. Fridays at 11 a.m. right here on the Family Station. Love 101.
As a man living with HIV, a regular day for me, not much different from yours. I have to wake up and go to people and work in the traffic, but then when we reach, we can run some joke with my co-worker them. Sometimes we link up after work, or play ball, or just dip on my ends and kick back before we go home. You see how much we have in common? People living with HIV are a part of our community. Make we par, protect, accept, and respect. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
When tape diapers are difficult to change, it's time for Pampers Easy Ups with 360 stretchy waistband. They're easy to put on and take off, keeping their skin dry and protected.
Changes are easy with Easy Ups.
Welcome back to the mailbox. Here every Wednesday at 5:30 on your favorite station, Love 101 FM. We're having a very stimulating, informative, empowering conversation with Dr. Jermaine Gordon. Before the break, you're just sharing your experience with this young man about to be a father and talking with him. And I want, as you continue that story, can you share with our listeners who might be wondering, especially our men or fathers, if you were, what are the characteristics of father? What is it that they are supposed to be doing? Sometimes our men, they just know that they're father, but they're not sure what are the things that they're supposed to be doing. Nobody ever taught them. Sometimes there's no father in the home, and they're just catching some things on television, hearing the music, or just them brethren talk. Can you share some of the things that you said? Yes, a father really should be about doing those things as well.
I want to say that the main role, one of the main roles of the father in the house is to provide balance. Balance right across. Balance for the child, emotional balance for the child, emotional balance for mommy. Some counselors will tell you that the role of the man in the house is also to protect the child from mommy and vice versa. And so the balance, bringing about a balance to the emotional stuff in the home, bringing about a balance to what the family focuses on. And my father was calling me just now while I'm talking about him. Wow. And he's 91 and he has his farm in New York there. He called me and he showed me all of what he has farmed. And so the father brings about a certain level of balance for me. That's what I saw. With my own children, the father brought a certain level of confidence. Confidence. And I notice how my children respond when I am in their presence. I notice how my athlete son, Raylan, I wasn't able to attend a couple of his sports day early in his school years. And he just, managed to run. But the moment I showed up, this boy started winning.
Wow.
I remember one of the last sports days I took him, and I said to him, I'm going to take you to the barber to get a good haircut. And he says, Daddy, why am I getting a good haircut if I'm have sports day tomorrow? I said, because when you go on the podium to collect your medal tomorrow, I don't want you to look at it when you're 16. I said, Daddy, you couldn't get me a proper haircut. So I said, the winner and the champion needs to look good. So, of course, I got him the haircut, and the following day, he got the gold medal. And so that is what the father provides, that level of balance, that level of confidence, and becoming that motivator to both the child or the children and mommy. Very, very important.
Wow. No, I can understand some men listening and saying, Brother Gordon, I don't feel too confident. Brother Gordon, I kind of feel a bit insecure. I feel less than sometimes, when I compare myself with other men and what they have achieved, I just feel less than. How can I still approach my children with this level of confidence? Can I become better at it? And what are some of the things you would suggest that our boys to men need to do or to learn in order for them to have adequate self-esteem, for them to have this confidence that they're competent, they're capable of doing stuff? What would you say?
I would ask them to start with this. What is it that I do? Ask yourself, what is it that I do and I do well at? Instead of looking at what others are doing, ask yourself, what is it that I do? And I had a conversation like this afternoon. I said to the children, can you tell me 3 things that Daddy loves to do? And they were able to tell me quickly. Daddy loves music. Daddy loves to sing. I'm asking you, what is it that you love to do? Zoom in on that. Why? Because we have been lied to in more ways than one. We have inherited a culture that speaks down to us. We have inherited a culture that make us feel as if we're never good enough and find fault with everything we do. I'm telling you.
Yeah. No,
Some
true.
people are specialists at that. They'll see what you don't do while they fail to really grasp what it is that you do. And so as men, here's what we can do. We can do this test for ourselves and encourage ourselves. What is it I do well at? Ask your children too. They'll tell you.
Yes.
You know, what is it that daddy does well at? I remember I was having a session at home and a little boy came to our house and I said, what do you think daddy loves? And he says, daddy loves teacups. I was like, what?
Wow.
He said, yes. I said, why? He said, because I see teacup everywhere in your house.
Visual, you seen that? No, interesting. No, there are some activities, and you have mentioned some of them that you do with your children. You know, what are some activities that fathers should be involved in the raising of their children? And especially if they do not live with these children. In our context, there are some fathers who they are no longer in intimate relationships with the mothers of their children, and yet they're very involved and they want to be active. But generally, what are some of the activities that you think fathers should really do for their sons and daughters?
I remember when I was overseas during COVID for the first 4 or 5 months. And what I did with my children, we watched movie online together.
Wow.
We streamed the movie online. So movie is a big thing for us.
Yes.
We have movie dates and I put away the phone and we just lock away to movie. A very key point is conversations. I encourage fathers to have conversations. Some fathers don't do as much because they think they don't have the money to go and look for her or to look for him. I'm telling you, one of the best thing you can do for your child is to have conversations. On Monday, we were at Brayton Primary. And when I started having conversations with these boys and these girls in a special interaction session, the teachers, their jaw were like, huh? They never knew that their children could express themselves the way they did. When they started telling me who love to cook and who can do rice and peas and stuff, a little girl, the conversation ended with an 11-year-old girl saying that she's going to tell her mother to invite me for dinner so she can cook for me. So conversation. Conversation, movie session, movie time. Those are some things I get involved with. Let me just give you, I don't know how much time I have, but there's a conversation that I stuck in my mind a couple of years ago. I was driving and I said to my boys, so at the time it was just 2. The older one was 12, the younger was 8. And I said to them, I want to talk about ideas, good ideas and bad ideas. And so I said, what is a good idea? What is a good idea? I think I was asking the younger one, Raylan. I said, I started with bad idea. What's a bad idea? And the older one chose to answer. He says, a bad idea is, and he's referring to the younger one now, being born. I said, what? I tried to contain myself. I said, what? Right. And then I said, okay, all right, what's a good idea? The older one again decided he was going to answer, and he says, Raylan not being born. I was like, the way they think, it provides a great platform for us as fathers to guide them and to instruct them.
Wow, man. Teachable moment right there. We're going to take our final break, listeners. We're having conversation with Dr. Jermaine Gordon. We're going to be back after these messages.
Yeah, my man, yes. Strong.
Join the National Blood Transfusion Service and the Ministry of Health and Wellness on June 14 for World Blood Donor Day.
Every blood donation helps save at least 3 lives. Wear red and donate at any blood collection center island-wide.
Follow the Blood Bank and the Ministry of Health and Wellness on our social media pages at One Blood Bank JA and at the MOHWGOVJM.
World Blood Donor Day.
Blood is life-giving and life-changing. A message from the National Blood Transfusion Service, an entity of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Joan is living with HIV and she has the full support of her community.
Oh, Joan, one of my favorite passenger them. Nah, left her road.
Me love Joan. She sell the best box food on the block. You know what say Joan are the first year me ever do, I'm not left her out. My mom is the best. Anything she wants, I'm there for her.
Just like Joan, people living with HIV are a part of our community. Make we par, protect, accept, and respect. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Boss, we're gonna need some solid PVC pipes and conduits. Then all PVC pipe not solid. No man, solid brand. They make it right here in Jamaica. Them cheaper and it's good quality pipes.
Well, that is some solid advice. All right, how much we need?
Solid PVC pipes and conduits manufactured in Jamaica and available at all hardware stores across the island. Buy Jamaican, employ Jamaicans, and build Jamaica. Ask for solid PVC pipes and conduits and save. Call 876-937-5099 to place your orders today. Manufactured by Fosrich.
Every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. on Love 101, you're invited to listen to The Revival of Truth with Bishop Augustine Odie. There is life beyond the surface, life that is divine, life that is eternal, and you can hear the truth of God's word and go deeper in purpose. Revival of Truth with Bishop Augustine Odie, Sundays 2:30 to 3 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox, here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on your favorite station, Love 101 FM's. Kevin and Courtney will be back next week. We're having a conversation with Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon. Sir Gordon, what are some practical solutions to helping our males, especially those who are having a difficult time in society because of a troubled past? Sometimes men have, done some things they regretted, and maybe they didn't finish school. Maybe they find themselves struggling in relationships, their finances, and they just kind of feel stuck, maybe because of the past. What would you say to them? What can they do to help themselves to move forward?
I believe that a good place to start, if you have that troubled past, is to healing. See the need to heal completely. Whether it is that you need to forgive yourself, forgive others, that's a big part of it. Letting go of the things that you hold on to that have held you back. I remember sharing some testimonies about the song that you quoted earlier, You Are God. A guy downtown, he was covered with tattoos all over his body. And when he heard that I was in downtown Kingston, he came out to meet me. And he says, listen, man, I have done some bad things with my life. I hurt people. And when I hear your music, it's like healing for me. I don't feel like hurting anybody.
Wow.
And so I want to just encourage our men to know that healing is available. It's a very, very good place to start. And healing doesn't mean you're sick. No. It just means that you need what you need to become the best you can be. Perhaps something in your past, some trauma in your past, and trauma sometimes, the word trauma sometimes make us feel scared. But trauma sometimes have a way of filling our lives with unnecessary drama. And when we have not been healed properly, we will bleed on people who never cut us, who never hurt us. And so that's a good place to start. And then another thing I would encourage is to know where your support is. Know where your support comes from. Because in my creative coaching session, I help to support creatives in various ways, making them know that they have someone here in their corner. The other thing I would say is encouragement.
Yes.
Know where you can turn to for encouragement. Is it a song? Is it a friend? Is it the scripture? Is it the Holy Spirit? Is it a community? Where can you turn when you need some encouragement? When your soul gets bitter, when your soul gets troubled, where can you turn to get some encouragement? And the other thing is guidance. Where can you turn to get some guidance? You read the Bible, you go on a fast, you have a spiritual father, you have whatever it is. However, you can get some guidance that will minister to the physical man and the spiritual man.
Oh, thank you. That's a mouthful there. Very comprehensive, Sir Gordon. And you have to share a song with us, and some more encouragement for our men. I noticed last year you released That Is Home, Lullaby, Heavenlies, and all of that. Talk to us a little bit about that project, and why and the impact of that project.
That Is Home is a merge of piano, cello, and violin. I wanted to create. In fact, my wife was praying that night in a family devotion, and when
Yes.
she started praying, this melody came, and I started playing it. And it is like a father at 2 o'clock in the morning with the baby, the child in his hand, and he's trying to comfort the child, and he's humming. And when I introduced this concept of daddy humming, people love it. I got several radio stations to interview me last year because they love the new concept of a father humming. They say, we hear about
Yes.
mommy humming, we hear about grandma and the
Right.
nanny, but we never hear about daddy humming. And I
No.
want to say, when I heard the tune out of the heavens, God said to me, this is a part of what I will use to heal the home. Where the scripture talks about that if the men are not in their rightful place, if the fathers are not in their rightful place, oh, God will strike the earth with a curse. That he was showing me that this sound is a part of the healing, the mending of the relationships, men with their children and children with the fathers. Very, very important. That's
Wow. Wow. Even I want to sleep. No, I'm just saying. I can imagine what that does to a child and knowing it's coming from daddy. Amazing. I encourage persons to check it out. No, no, I'd love you to share a song for the next minute or so, and share a song, and then I want you to encourage our men. Father's Day coming up, but just what is on your heart, to speak into the lives of our men.
there's a little song I heard. I heard this African song a couple days ago. I hope you can hear my keyboard.
Sure. Yes, hearing it.
And I love it. A beautiful African song. And I want to sing it for all those men who are listening and encourage your hearts today. And we will never settle for less when we know there's more that's found in you. And we will never settle for less when we know there's more that's found in you. And we will never settle for less when we know there's more that's found in you. And we will never settle for less when we know there's more that's found in you. And so I want to encourage a man today. I want to encourage a father. Don't settle. Because the great God who made you has deposited so much inside of you. And the only way to know that it is in you is to place a demand on it. You don't know your ability to love until you place a demand on that love that is within you. You don't know your ability to give until a demand is placed on that gift to give. And so don't look at yourself physically and say, oh, I'm just a simple man, I'm this, I'm that. You are way more than that. I want to remind you that you are not from here. You're a divine ingredient. And it's important that as a divine ingredient, you know what you bring to the table. Everybody knows what salt does to a mixture. When you add salt to any mixture, it changes it. And so if you know that you're a divine ingredient, man, I say to you, rise up, man. Get up, man, because you are a divine ingredient. And when you show up, something happens to the atmosphere. Something happens to the room where you are. Something happens to the people who experience what you bring to the table. Hallelujah. So I encourage a man today. I encourage a father today. Despite the culture and what they're focusing on today, I want to say to you, know what you bring to the table. It could be peace. When you come, peace enters the room. It could be joy. When you come, joy enters the room. It could be sense. That sense will prevail when you enters the room. And so I just want to bless a man with that. That don't settle for less when there's more that's found in God, the one who made you.
Wow. Don't settle for less. What a fitting way to wrap up. I want to thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Jermaine Gordon. Thank you so much. And listeners, men, you have been challenged, encouraged, empowered. And just want to say thanks to Dr. Jermaine D. Gordon, our creative architect. We end the show with this quote: "A father is a man you look up to no matter how tall you grow." My quotes diary. This was the program designed for men with guests who are men. The mailbox was brought to you today by Solid PVC Pipes, manufactured in Jamaica by Fosrich Company Limited. I want to say Happy Father's Day when it comes on Sunday, June 16, 2024. Catch you next week, Wednesday, June 19. Same place, same time. Thanks again, Sir Gordon. Blessing as you continue your great work. Totally appreciate it. And so, thank you so much, listeners. As we say, Monday up, as we continue to challenge, encourage, and empower our men. Blessings.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man.